Persona 5 Royal, or The Royal, depending on where you're from, is another one of these where I needed to be in the right space for it. I gave it a few tries at different times, and I think the most recent time before the one that I actually played it through, I just really didn't gel with the pacing. But I realised that it's trying to tell a story, it's trying to obviously build up to the ending, and by the time of the ending, I was in tears. I was along for the ride. But this is not a short game. Even if you're not... I followed a guide to try and get the most out of it because I really wanted to. I started off playing it, and I was like, well, wait, I'm going to make sure that I get the best out of this. Because like the others, it's a slice of life drama and a JRPG. It's got both. And you need to nurture the one to help with the other. I mean, obviously, if you've played the Persona series, you know exactly what you're in for. But it really does need to take its time. That comes up on all the loading screens, take your time. And it does need to do that. It does need to sit with you. It does need to allow you to understand these people, their motivations. And like I say, that pacing didn't gel with me, at least the time before. But this time, I knew what I was getting in for, and I was fine with it. I went for it, and I enjoyed it. I played this through to the end, and 140 hours-ish. And that isn't getting everything. I didn't complete the compendium. I didn't New Game Plus to get Sataniel. Didn't do that stuff. I did pretty much everything else, though. I got all relationships to the maximum. I got all the social stats to the maximum. I played all the games, like the retro games, saw all the films, etc. Again, I followed a guide to make sure I got the most out of it. But people will often say, don't use the guide on your first playthrough, just feel it. But to me, I don't play games 3-4 times to get everything. I want to do as much as I can in one go. So I booked that trend of, just play through it and then play it again to get all the extra stuff. No. Because then I'm sinking 200 hours in instead of just 140, whatever it may be. But this does reward that deep play style. Taking time and appreciating these people is what made the ending affect me so much. And by following that guide, I made sure to get the true ending with everything as it should be. And there were moments, like I say, I was in tears. I was really affected, especially the little say goodbye to all your friends bit at the end. That one really got me. The first few didn't. I was like, no, this is kind of sad. But then I was going to see people and it's like, oh, you really helped me with this problem, you really helped me with that problem. The fact that they've interwoven the social aspects, building your confidants, who represent the different arcana, into mementos, this kind of dungeon that you can go into, as well as the palaces. So to get the maximum of some of the relationships, you have to take their request and solve the problem of this person who's affecting their life before you will be able to get to the final stage. I love that, because it doesn't feel like 2 or 3 disjointed games stuck on each other. Of all the Personas I've played so far, I think this one does that the best, interweaving everything and making sure it all works together. I think if you're only wanting to focus on the palaces, you're going to miss out on a lot. If you only want to focus on mementos, you're going to miss out on a lot. If you only want to focus on the slice of life stuff, you're going to miss out on a lot. And also, why are you playing a game that's basically a JRPG with slice of life added to it? Play like Harvest Moon or something instead. I don't know. It's not the best example, but you get what I'm saying. But I really love this for what it is. And I've got Strikers available. I will play that at some point, but I know it's not going to be the same. More of like a Musho kind of game, but I'm fine with that. I don't tend to like them much, but these people, this world interests me. And these characters really are the core of it. I was saddened that I had to build up to certain ones. I really wanted some of these people from the get-go. I find often the sporty friend in these to be the annoying one. I don't want to spend much time with. The Yuji is no exception, unfortunately. But again, over the course of the game, I saw the softer edges. And whilst I still wouldn't have counted him in my top 3 overall confidants, as it were, I got a deeper respect for him. But 2 of the people that I really did like were Yusuke and Akechi, because that's Matt Mercer and Robbie Damon, respectively. So yeah, there's a lot of great voice actors over the years. I mean, we had Sam Riegel and Laura Bailey last time, etc. So there's a lot of people in the voice acting world who sometimes are also involved in Critical Role, whether normally or as a guest. But whatever it takes for me to know these people and respect them, hey, it works, because I really enjoyed their performances, and they are good actors, first and foremost. I think I also heard Taliesin Jaffe on this as some of the side characters, but he's not credited, anywhere, like on IMDb as an uncredited thing even, but it definitely sounds like him to me. He's not one of those where he sounds like about 3 or 4 different people. It's very distinctive to me, his voice, but like I say, I don't know. It's what I thought. There's a few ones that could have been him, let's put it that way. But yeah, all these people, are like going, oh, that's Matt, that's Robbie, and now I'm familiar with Robbie Daymond, I can hear him. I've got to go back. I mean, when is it Phantom Liberty, I think it's released, I'm going to go back and play Cyberpunk with that. And I will speak to River a lot, because that's also Robbie Daymond, which I didn't realise first time. I wasn't as familiar with him. But so many good things here. And like I say, that ending really got me. But interestingly enough, I played this between academic years. This will probably go out just before I go back for the first proper academic year, or the first full year of my degree without the foundation year. That was the last year. And I was told by my mentor, to do some work over summer, keep it in my brain, so I don't have a summer without psychology and then go back going, what's all this? And accidentally, I've kind of been doing that, because the persona idea is rooted in things like the Jungian archetypes, etc. That was a big thing in 4 that was mentioned quite a lot. But it's still here. There's a lot of psychological concepts. It came out with there was a question about the halo effect during one of the classroom bits, and I was like, I know the halo effect. I know this, I studied it. But also Maruki's goal. Everything, that he does. I mean, he's a counsellor. Hello. A lot of the stuff from him, and obviously the deeper stuff about what Mementos is, about the idea of changing someone's cognition, the way they think, to improve their lives. They talk about stealing hearts here, but that's not a physical sense, that's a metaphorical sense, your emotional heart, which is rooted in psychology. So this is work on both fronts. I've been able to make a video for it, but I've also, entertained psychological concepts. It's given me ideas about, could you, not necessarily, using an alternate reality, if you will, like a parallel world, but could you figure out someone's darkest, deepest desires or their biggest issues and work through it and improve their lives? Well, yes, that's what counselling and psychotherapy often is. So this is a game literally about psychotherapy. Some of you may be like, some of you may have just had your minds blown. I'm very sorry to the latter part. But that's what this is. This is a game about psychotherapy. Changing people by making them realise that the things that they're holding on to, the things that they believe about themselves are wrong and flawed, and it would be really good if they could change that. They could improve not only their lives, but those around them, as we see with particularly Kamoshida, but obviously Shido on a big scale. So this game has a lot. And just going, oh, it's another JRPG, I think will do it a massive disservice. The fact that we even have people taking on other identities because of trauma, that is amazing. From a psychological standpoint, the people at Atlas, I think, need a big pat on the back and probably a hug, maybe with some of them. The fact that, I've never looked into, the behind the scenes kind of stuff of this kind of thing. I'd love to see what the people's background is, whether they just research it because they want to make games about it, or whether they have a background in psychology. I don't know. Japan's very different to us. We often will switch hats throughout our lives. Japan tends to be, you focus on a career. For the most part, obviously. They're still humans. This, I could gush about how wonderfully crafted, acted, made, and how deep the psychological impact is. But if you haven't played it for yourself, I don't think I've spoiled too much. I've tried to be careful with what I've released and not. But really, give it a go. And even if you played it on release, maybe go back, try again, have another go, because it is a world that, as much as I'm saying I don't want to play it a second time, third time to get all the extras, all the extra bits, I do love this world, and I would love to stay in it more, which is why I'm quite happy to play Strikers. It's the same characters, and I'm happy for that. I really do think, if you've got any interest in JRPGs, if you've got any interest in psychology, play this. You are doing yourself a disservice not to. But before I gush for like another half hour or something ridiculous, I will simply say, yes, thank you very much for watching, as always, and until next time, take care.